Hello everyone! This video today is to help you in making your original movie poster. We're going to be going over some design tips, some ways to come up with ideas, and how to use Canva's basic elements to create your poster. So you'll see here on the starting screen, we have my sample movie poster from the lesson, Reflections, like seeing yourself for the first time, a Catherine R. Foley film. And there's the image in the background of a girl holding a broken mirror. So this checks off all of our project requirements. We need the title, we need the credit names, a tagline, and an image. And so I wanted to talk you through a bit of how I came up with this and also show how to create your own movie poster, how to get some ideas. So, one thing I first want to point out that is a great tool for those of you who have used Instagram before, even Facebook, other photo editors, anything to modify your pictures, then you are most likely familiar with filters, and Canva has some great filters. So, here is my final movie poster, but I'll scroll down and show you page 2. And this is the original image I started from. So this has a bit of a darker tone. I wanted my movie poster for Reflections to be a bit lighthearted and dreamy, possibly a romance or a drama film for the genre. And so if I go back up here and select the image, I can go over here to filter and show you what filter I used. So I picked this filter called Cali, and I have it up all the way. If I take it down, you'll see some of those brighter colors coming through, bolder colors rather. But the higher the filter goes, it's a bit more washed out, even a bit more green. And this was just a design choice, and these are the kind of choices you can make to have whatever image you select reflect the genre you're thinking for your film. So now that we've gone over filters, let's go over coming up with our concept. And so when I created my concept, I decided I wanted to play around with the third option for your project prompt, and that was to flip the genre of an existing film. So here we have, I just put into a blank poster. I have the name created by, title, Dinoland, and tagline, the Raptors are at it again. And so this is meant to be a parody, a comedy version of the film Jurassic Park. So for any of you familiar with Jurassic Park, it is an action-adventure type of film that takes place on an island filled with scientifically created dinosaurs, and the dinosaurs turn on the people. And so, while this is a comedy, Dinoland is much sillier of a title. It makes me think of Disneyland, it makes me think of an amusement park, makes me think of something silly and a little youthful. And my tagline is, "The Raptors are at it again." This kind of brings in the same conflict where the dinosaurs are causing trouble for the humans, but it makes it a bit more comical, makes it a bit more like the Raptors are up to some hijinks, feeling like they might be pranking the humans or just stirring up trouble, but in a bit of a more comedic sense. And so that is how and why I decided to make these different text elements in my poster what they are. And so the last thing that I'm missing now is the image. And I have a couple different image choices, and I would like to think with you to discuss how these different images would impact the final design and if they fit the genre in the right way. So, using Canva's search option for photos, I first found this footprint of a dinosaur in the ground. And while this is definitely very interesting and it has a very realistic touch, something that a lot of illustrations or CGI 3D modeled dinosaurs might not have, it was just a bit plain. I wasn't really feeling it, so I kept looking. Now we have this next one, which is a dinosaur skin or a reptile skin. Looks very scaly, has a bright green color. It's definitely very pretty It's definitely much more lighthearted. However, it just wasn't quite connected enough to dinosaurs to make it the right choice for my poster. Now, here we finally have an image of a dinosaur directly. It is a T Rex shaded in dark shadows. And so this is a really great photo, but I wasn't sure if it really fit a comedy about dinosaurs. This fits much more with the original Jurassic Park, or maybe if we did a genre flip to make Jurassic Park a horror movie, having the dinosaur in the shadow would be a much better choice, but it wasn't the right choice for me. Now, here we are with our second to last option, and this is very silly. It is toy dinosaurs with birthday hats, and I absolutely love this. But I didn't know if this would give the right vibe for what I was thinking for. So, if the film was maybe about an actual Chuck E. Cheese kind of Dino Land, and this kid had a birthday party there. Now that would make sense. So, if you're thinking of changing the plot or the setting for your film, by all means, go with something that is just very different from what the original film is with the genre flipping. This is really all just up for you and what you want to come up with for this poster. But for the sake of my exercise, this wasn't the right image for me. So I'll show you the last image, and this is the one I ended up choosing. This is the eye of a dinosaur. It is this bright yellow color here, some different tones of gray, has some very nice color, and also a little design tip for you. And this is true when you're photographing people. The eyes of a person, an animal, an object are always the thing that your eye is attracted to, because in everyday conversation, most of us are used to making eye contact. So this is a great way of drawing attention to your project, to your design. And that's part of why I chose this picture. Now, if I would have looked a bit deeper, maybe looked on some different websites, gotten some inspiration, and shot my own photo, I could have definitely found a photo that fit this better. But for the sake of this exercise and this example, I thought this was a pretty good one to start with. And so I'm going to scroll down and show you what I came up with for my Dino Land poster. So here's my Dino Land poster, and you'll see I did modify the color a bit using a filter. I will show you here what filter I used. So you'll see here I use the Dalliance filter, and it's on pretty low. If I slide it up higher, it makes it just a bit too red and a bit too bright, almost kind of neon-y, and it just wasn't really what I was feeling. But having it on a bit of a lower setting, like a late 20, near the 30 mark, that makes it a bit brighter, but also doesn't make the yellow too bright that it's hurting your eyes. And so I also changed the fonts of the text elements. I have here this Dino Land title. Then I changed the two other text elements. They're the same font, the HK Gothic. This one up here is in bold. This one is just the regular, but it's also italicized. And so to make these fonts stand out more, I want to show you one more hint. So I'm going to select this title, and we're going to go to Effects. Now, this is where you can add different things to make your font, your text stand out behind your photo, above your photo. So if I change it here, you can see this is the shadow. This gives a duplicate in the background of the font, gives it a bit of a 3D feel. That wasn't quite right. I'll also show you this one. This is another good one, the splice or even the hollow. It takes away some of the boldness of the font and just gives it a bit of a more original feel. I'll show you one more. Here's this neon. It gives this very light, glowy cast. Great, would be awesome if it looked more like a neon sign, or if it was more about like a movie type of thing. It gives that feeling of it being like a show, theater type of art thing. I'm just going to stick with the lift that I placed. I think that lift is the best way to get white fonts to really stand out from a brighter background. And I also have lift on these other two. And so once you have that effect in, it helps it stand out a bit more. Another thing I did to make sure that my font could be seen well enough was I play with the transparency of the image. So the more transparent you make it, the more faded it looks. I didn't want it to be too faded though, so I just kept it at a slight transparency just because that gave me more control over the colors of the image. And so that is my finished sample poster for Dino Land the movie. It will be in theaters in 2025. No, it won't. Just a joke. But I hope that this helped get some inspiration. And just remember, this is all up to what you want to make this assignment. So don't worry about if the story makes sense, if you have this elaborate idea from start to finish. This is just exercising, coming up with a concept, using genre and a title to create that concept as a poster, and just applying some visual creativity, getting some things flowing for you with your work. And so have fun with it. And you guys got this, and I'll see you in class.